and welcome to the B-side, where we talk about Bond shit that's not necessarily the movies. And today, we'll be talking about Daniel Craig's villains. So, the Daniel Craig 5 movies, the villains from those 5 movies. Speaking of numbers, there's only 3 of us here tonight.
Again.
Unfortunately,
Hey, hat trick. It's a lucky number. It's all right. Like,
Tom, myself, and Ray are here to run through this B-side. Obviously, Barry couldn't be here, and Wade decided he was too important. So let's get her done. Let's introduce our villains.
yeah.
First off, in Casino Royale, we have Le Chiffre, a very quality villain. In Quantum of Solace, we have Dominic Green. In Skyfall, we have Silva, the ex-rogue agent. In Spectre, we have Blofeld. And in No Time to Die, we have Safin. Alright, so let's start at the bottom again, gentlemen. Does anybody here stand out that you think should be 5?
Green. I think Green's probably 5. I mean, his plot was pretty diabolical. The whole taking control of the water situation. But
Yeah, no,
I mean, he was a big puss. Like,
I'm not gonna lie, I was getting ready to say Green when you said it. So
But here's the thing: is I'm with you, but I don't think he was a puss. When he was throwing that axe and everything in the fight scene at the end, he was really coming at Bond.
yeah, but everybody's a big shot with an axe in their hand.
but let's be honest. Like, look at some of the past Bond villains and everything, and they're just like fat people that just like point and don't do shit.
well, I mean, we've seen bigger
Like,
pussies that like
yeah.
the newspaper guy was a big pussy. He,
Newspaper
you know,
guy. What about the fish fucker? He got shot with a different chair. Like, I mean, like
fish fucker. I can't
there's
believe we're back
so
to that.
many villains that went out in so many bitchier ways. Like, yes, he's like kind of like this little nerdy eccentric dweeb, but like he was really swinging. Like the choreography on that got me sold. To where like, hey, this guy probably is one of those like. He's one of those little dudes that knows Brazilian jiu-jitsu and like fucks you up and you didn't even see it coming. Like that's the kind of guy Green is. So like, but once again, like out of the like, it's a solid list.
no, these
Yeah.
are 5 good villains. I think
That's what I mean. Like I'm not trying to sell him short, but he is my number 5. But it's mainly because throughout the whole thing, he is this little wishy-washy pussy until he gets into a fight.
yeah.
It's like until the man actually has to fight, it's like, dude, you are just like weird.
And then the brother went down, walking in the desert, drinking motor oil.
Yeah, which honestly, that reminded me of that old movie. What was that, like Three Kings and all that, where they make the guy drink motor oil?
Oh, the one with George Clooney?
Yeah, and he gets shot in the
okay.
side. And you can see the oil coming out from his lungs and everything, and the
Yeah.
gut, the shot. Like that's all I could think of when they're like, "Hey, stomach full of motor oil." Like, I bet if you shot him, it'd bleed oil. Like that's all I could think. Like,
Yeah.
All right, so are we in agreement that Green would be 5 then?
yeah,
That went quicker than I thought, but all right, good deal. All right, so
I feel like it's gonna get rough.
it's gonna get real rough here, guys. It's gonna get real rough. Before we talk about who's 4, 3, 2, 1, I just want to say this: the Chief, Green, and Silva all worked for Blofeld.
True.
Yeah.
But then you have to go out and you have to so like that's a weird dynamic to try and think about, because how can you be a better villain than him when you work for him? But then at the same time, Safin killed Blofeld.
Well,
So
and-
like
but you-
there's that aspect to
That's
it.
the thing you have to remember is like, Safin was always stalking Blofeld.
Yes.
Like that's the thing. Even from the very first movie and everything, it's like, hey, there was a much larger plot and game in the background of all this. Like,
There was, but at the same time, it's weird because like Blofeld and Spectre are kind of at war with all the world's intelligence agencies, and Safin and his organization, nobody really knows they exist, and then all of a sudden they kill all of Spectre, but nobody knows. Everybody's like, well, who did it? Nobody knows who they are. Like even Blofeld doesn't appear to know who it is.
Right.
So it's like, I don't know, like, yes, I give you credit for being able to take out Spectre, but at the same time, how much credit was, because it was kind of like a sneak attack out of nowhere. You weren't fighting them head on like somebody like Bond is having to.
So kind of like a guerrilla unit.
Yeah, I don't know, it's a weird dynamic. I feel like this conversation could be lengthy.
I I guess we'll just do this in order. Who are we trying to say number 4? I guess does anybody have strong feelings with number 4?
Well,
That's
I
who we
don't have
gotta lead.
super strong feelings, but I'm gonna go ahead and throw out Lashif because although I love his movie and I think he did a good job playing a villain. Really, throughout his whole movie, he's trying to pay back Spectre because he lost their money.
Yeah, and he gets kind of bullied in the hotel room.
Well, he gets bullied there, and Mr. White just comes in and murks him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So so it's one of those things of.
Well, I guess we'll go this route. It's like, because really, none of Blofeld's henchmen, or even Blofeld, really executed their plan. They all failed to degrees.
I mean, everybody in all the movies fail eventually.
Old boy wanted to kill Blofeld, and he did it. He did what he wanted to do.
Well, that's not the end of his plan, though.
No, but
he did want to kill Blofeld, yes.
But let's be honest.
And he accomplished that halfway through the movie.
That wasn't the end of his plan, but let's be honest, that was a big feather in his cap. Like, that was one to where, like, that would be like Blofeld coming and killing Bond finally. Or vice versa and everything. Like, it's like, that was a very big deal there. And then it would be like, well, what would, Blofeld do if he did finally kill Bond? Like, oh, his plan happens. Like, or, another one comes up, or like I said. But with this guy, it's like, no, I killed my Bond, and it just so happens that the real Bond is there to, like, fuck, now I gotta deal with his bitch ass. It is, because once again, like, Bond, like, no one knows he's existed. He doesn't care about Bond. He wants Blofeld's ass for the most part. Like, and everything after that is like, this other plan was way in the making and already. Like, Blofeld is just icing on the cake while you get what you want.
Well, but here's the difference, though. All these people, if you're talking about his ultimate goal is to kill Blofeld, well, that goal is like it's tiddlywinks compared to everybody else's plan.
Oh, but it's not to him though, because man, they made it such a point for him to go on and about like, it was like, you killed my mother. It's like, well, your father killed my entire family, parents, right? Like, this guy is like,
no. I'm not saying that it doesn't mean anything to him, but like to say that he succeeded in committing one murder. When everybody else is trying to do world domination.
It wasn't one murder. He killed all of Spectre.
Well, he did do that,
in one shot. He made MI6 and the CIA look like little bitches in one party. And he did it in front of Bond. And he did it in front of Blofeld, because Blofeld had to watch it out of his own eye.
That is true.
Like, that's the thing, is like, so Blofeld even knew what was coming.
Well, Blofeld knew they were dying. I don't think he knew what was going on.
In that dialogue, he knew that somebody was coming to kill him. Like, he didn't know who, but he knew that he's seen Bond in that room. All of Spectre died, and it's like, you're the only one left.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that was the thing. And even their conversation when he got rolled out and all, like, you could kind of tell that, like, Blofeld knew, like, yeah, like, I'm stuck in a box. I have no resources, and everyone that was my agency just died in one room. Like, they're coming after me. They're not gonna stop with just them. Like, so he was aware of his mortality at that point.
I don't doubt all that, but what I'm saying is that killing some people is not the same as taking over the world.
Well, but the thing is, he's genetically gonna alter it. Like I said, then he has this bigger plan.
His bigger plan, which he fails at. That's exactly what I'm saying.
But
when he has his big plan, it fails. Like everybody else.
But once again, like, everybody failed. But he surpassed MI6. He surpassed Spectre. He surpassed the CIA. And it was like I said, he did it all this entire time in the making, while Blofeld's still like trying to do his nonsense with all these guys under him.
Well, I mean, if we're gonna look at Blofeld, though, Blofeld outsmarted MI6 and the CIA and all of them too.
Oh, but that's why I say.
And technically, 4 straight movies.
Well, yeah, that's true.
Like we said, I feel like Le Chef's or Chef.
Le Chef, yeah. What's he in, a cooking show?
Yeah, it's like.
But are we in agreement that Le Chef is probably 4?
Yeah, just because it's about paying back a debt.
Yes.
Like I said, like I said, with the plot, because once again, kind of like Green, very proficient with a blade. Great fight scene when they're in their fencing and everything. They keep escalating it more and more. Like, fucking awesome and everything.
Not only that,
And-
but the torture scene is pretty legit.
Yeah.
well, that's yeah, but that everybody who talks about it, I feel like that choreography and that sword fight scene was really undersold, because then after they just throw it down and stop, and then like go get dressed and go to dinner, like
And as much as I like Mads Mikkelsen playing Lashif, I thought he played a better Hannibal Lecter. If you all ever watched that
Oh,
TV
Oh,
show.
I mean, he did fine. I think
once
I
again,
like
when
Mads
when,
Mikkelsen
when
too.
he's
Yeah.
angry, like
Yeah.
he sells that well. But once again, you've seen that in the fight scene because he has to be aggressive.
Like he is a villain. Like
Yeah.
Mad Mikkelsen is a career villain.
Yeah,
So are we all three of us in agreement that he's 4 then?
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, let's put him up there on the list, Ray. So now we're looking at 3, and we have Silva, Blofeld, and Safin. Now, Tom and I just had quite a bit of a back and forth here on Blofeld and Safin. Does that mean we all think Silva's 3?
I don't know, because he was pretty legit too.
He was legit.
He was, but once again, that was that weird.
One of the
You
more.
want to talk about small potato plans? It was about
Right.
just getting killed by somebody that he's seen as a mother figure and wanting her. That was a weird Freudian complex there. Like that's really what was happening with that. Because like I said, it was all about messing with her.
No, I mean his ultimate goal, yes, was
Yeah.
he was coming at him.
And like I said, and even the way he went out and everything.
Well, I'm trying to remember what was he doing with all the computer equipment? Because they had that
Uh,
whole like warehouse full of computer equipment.
that's just that's you need multiple things to hack computers like that, because you have to spoof the IP so they don't track your trace location.
Yeah,
so you have to keep going.
So he,
back and
yeah, he
forth.
was just doing like
well, remember
internet terrorism.
Yeah,
type
Yeah.
thing,
because remember he got the island because he scared everybody off with false news.
Mm-hmm.
Like he said there was like some type of like what I don't know, I can't even remember, like radiation leak or like fallout or some nonsense. But like yeah, he had the whole island to himself because like you said, like he just convinced people that yeah something happened.
Hmm.
So but I mean, still he had all that, and his personal only ambition was to get at her. Like he was
Yeah.
using all these resources and everything, all the Blofeld's resources. Like, yeah, like you're still fucking with MI6 and stuff like that, but he like his was personal and all that, like that. So yeah, that's why I kind of like, I don't know, and I didn't like the way he went out either. Just literally knifed in the back by Bond, like great
Yeah.
imagery. Don't get me wrong. Like even like having her hold the gun up to her head and like having to like commit suicide with both of them at the same time. It's like, hey, I still can't do it.
Well,
you have to pull the trigger.
Again,
Yeah.
though, if we're talking about success, I mean, yeah, he didn't like take over anything. He didn't kill the prime minister, which he also tried to do, but he did successfully kill him.
Yeah. So I mean, technically, he got his mission accomplished.
I can't remember who actually shot her. What? Like,
Well, I mean, one of the other
That's
guys
what- that's
shot
what
him,
I-
but
that's
he sent him there to do it.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
but like he wanted to, he wanted to kill her. Like,
The coup de grace.
yeah, that's what I mean. He wanted that and everything. That was the whole point of like tripping through the damn darkness and everything and walking through off the ice and all that. Like, it's like he could have like just let that go. But it's like, no, I got to make sure this. I want to do it. It was personal.
Well, it was definitely personal. There's no doubt. And he did. By the way, another great actor. Another
Oh, yeah,
another
Blue Down.
fantastic
Yeah.
acting job. So Silva's one of my favorite villains. He does a wonderful job in that movie.
Yeah.
As much as like everybody's kind of hated on this like whole slew of like miserable Bond romantic, era of Daniel Craig,
Yeah.
the villains were cast on point. To be totally
No,
honest.
yeah, they're like
They very much were.
they hit enough high notes throughout to keep you watching. I think.
I mean,
Oh, yeah.
because we just talked about Blofeld and Safin. Both those actors are legit too. I
Yeah.
love the actor they cast to play Blofeld. His name escapes me at the moment, but he's a wonderful bad guy. He's a bad guy in a lot of things I like.
What was that show he had? Robot. I forget what it was. I never did watch it, but that was his big
I don't
show
know
that he
that
was
one.
in.
He's also the bad guy in Inglourious Bastards.
That's how I knew him.
Yeah,
Just
I gotta look up.
I just
Yeah, I got to think
Ray,
about
just-
that one.
That's he's always fixing his hair like that and everything off the side. Like, you'll recognize it.
I know.
Think of
Yeah.
the big speech at the very beginning of the movie when he's sitting there with a glass of milk.
You're talking
he's
about
up-
Blofeld. You're talking
Yeah.
about Blofeld and Glorious Bastards. Yeah, I was
Yeah.
talking about the other guy.
Who, Silva?
No,
Or Safin?
Safin.
Safin-
That's the
Safin's
dude
in
I'm
some
talking
stuff
about. That
too,
was in
yeah.
that robot. That robot.
Oh,
show.
okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the guy that plays Blofeld, his name's Christopher Waltz, by the way. I just looked it up just so I
Yeah.
remember. He's also in Django.
Loved him in Django.
Yeah, he's good in that too. He's been good in some really cool movies.
Yeah.
No, but I was getting ready to say too, the guy that plays Safin also does a really good job.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Didn't he play? He played. What's the lead singer of Queen?
Freddie Mercury.
He played in that Bohemian Rhapsody movie. He pulled that shit off pretty good.
Yeah.
oh yeah, he did play that, didn't he?
Yeah.
That's like one of his. That was like one of the first big roles I remember. Man, to be honest with you, like obviously yeah, he was Bond, but yeah, like
Trying to think some of his minor stuff, but nothing's coming to mind right now.
I'm pulling up his stuff.
I'm sure if
I mean,
you
Bohemian
IMDb'd
Rhapsody
him
is
or
on
whatever,
here.
like,
Mr. Robot.
Mr. Robot. Yeah.
I'd never watched it though.
Neither, but
It says he's in the Night at the Museum movies. Who does he play in that?
I've never really got into those, to be totally honest.
I only watched the first one.
Oh, he plays a vampire in one of the Twilight movies.
Oh.
He's one of the soldiers in the Pacific, Tom.
Oh, I'll have to look for that then.
Yeah. All right. But anyway, no, I think he does a great job as well. They like I said, like Ray said, I mean, all 5 villains were cast pretty well.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like I said, I'm just I don't know. I'm going to go because I don't know. I just
So are we going Silva 3 then?
yeah.
Is that what we're doing?
I think we're gonna have to, because the other two got a bigger agendas that they pulled off.
It's way bigger. Like you're talking about like Spectre, which almost like just knocked out MI6 and everything else. Like, and then they come like out of nowhere and just get wiped off the map. Like it's like what the fuck just happened, and nobody knows. Everybody's caught with their pants down. Like,
All right, so now we're down to Blofeld and Safin.
I'd like to know what Blofeld's hiring policy is, to be totally honest. Like, he's just like, okay, here's a psychiatric report. Here's your previous military resume. You know, okay, you got a silver star here, but now you're killing the side that you were fighting for. I mean, I want to know who he's picking out of the hat here.
yeah, just everybody eccentric with money. Like, just that's all. Like,
But whatever he's doing, he's picking right.
yeah,
I mean,
like,
he's getting
hey,
it
you're
done.
crazy and all that. Are you funded? I got you.
Well,
Like,
I think Barry brought this up and quite a long time ago, but like these villains that are not part of Spectre that have been super successful. Like, how did they not end up with Spectre, and how does Spectre let them accomplish what they accomplish?
Right.
You know what I mean? That's the questions I have. It's like, you know, like what's his name? They had like the space program.
little dude, yeah. Like,
You know, and it's like, how did he accomplish that without Spectre's knowledge? You know what I mean? Or like, what did Spectre just let him do it? Like, they obviously knew about it. He was world news, but like, they just let him do what he's gonna do.
This is what just kind of came in mind. Like, I feel it's like they get hired by probably like a middleman that that the guy that hires them probably doesn't know, or the guy that gets hired to hire these dingies is probably okay. Go do this and go do this and go do this, and the whole mission is to open security up, keep opening the security doors up, and keep opening security doors up, and then by the time you get to like 4 and 5. It's so wide open that anybody could take down these fucking agencies.
Yeah.
oh yeah.
So it's kind of like little breadcrumbs down the road, which all these villains in the movies don't really know who they're working for probably. And they're just opening up for the main Blofeld to just do the coup de grace.
So many doubles and everything on all sides too, and like people have their own interest here and there. So yeah like
All right, so let's get back to the villains here. Safin and Blofeld, guys. Safin and Blofeld.
I'm going Safin.
There's 2.
I think I'm going the other way. I think I'm going with Blofeld.
Yeah, but Safin killed him.
He did. While he was sitting in a prison cell, it wasn't like he
Doesn't matter. But the point, that's even better power. I can kill you and not even be in the room. And better yet, I can kill you, not even be in the room, and have somebody do it without a gun.
But he didn't create that power. He just stole it.
Doesn't he wielded it? That's all these other henchmen have done is like steal power and try to wield it. He's not doing anything else that any other villain has done.
And with that big speech I just gave, I had to put Saf in a tube because the security doors are wide open for him just to come in and just shut it all down. So,
But he did come in.
but Blofeld
come
opened
in
it
and shut
up
it
4 movies in advance. So
He did come in and shut it all down. Like,
yeah,
Well, I wouldn't say he shut it all down. He killed Spectre.
yeah.
Yeah. But once again, we just had to watch like what 4 movies and everything where
But-
Spectre pretty much is fucking with MI6.
But Daddy
blowing up their
Blow,
headquarters,
but Daddy
like-
Blow opened it up for everybody. So when you got somebody holding the door
I
for
mean,
you,
Blofeld was running an organization from prison and was having people killed and doing all sorts of things from prison.
Yeah.
That's also a lot of power.
that's a kingpin right there.
Yeah, but he was still being, like I said, he was still being watched. Even all those movies, he's still being watched. Like he's still unaware that he's being stalked.
I mean,
Right.
yeah, that's true.
Like, and all his agents. Like that's the thing is like you have, like you said, you just said he has global domination basically. But yet there's this invisible globe that's bigger that's watching all of them.
No, it's
just
not.
waiting.
It's not bigger. That's the whole thing. It's so tiny that nobody's paying attention to it.
But that's the thing. It's just like the game of Go in Chinese. You try to take over the most territory with the least amount of pieces. If I can beat you with only 3 or 4 moves, I don't have to play chess against you.
Well, right, but we know you're playing. Nobody knew Saturn
Like-
was playing.
But
That's the thing.
but that is the thing. That's how you be a perfect predator. You don't want your prey to see you.
Well,
That's a
yes.
good point too. But I mean, when
Like,
you got
that's
all
the
the
thing. A shitty predator is one that James Bonds it. Walks in the room like,
Yeah.
I'm Bond. James. It's like, get me a martini and a cigar, and I'm gonna try to kill you after you give me a hotel room. Like,
but if you're a predator and all your prey has broken leg and one eyes and are down for the count, are you really a predator or are you a vulture?
That's a good point, Ray. That's a good point. I mean, you killed a guy that was like half crippled and was tied up, and you sent somebody else to
I
do
mean,
it.
are you
But-
pecking at the skin or are
but-
you really killing the guys?
I look at it as that moment as his coup de grace moment. Because like I said, that is it. I have taken everything from you. I've watched Bond even like take everything from you. You're locked up and I just made you witness all of your like henchmen and everybody you thought was gonna help you like die bleeding out of their like skin.
But
like,
then that
in your
becomes
own head.
a personal vendetta, like we just talked about the previous 3.
Yeah, but that's the
for
thing.
him. That's his personal moment.
It is.
Blofeld had a whole thing going on.
But that was the thing, that
He
there
didn't
was
have
that
a
whole
personal
thing.
moment. He had an organization that he was trying to chip away at from different spots.
Yeah, but then like he goes.
He
in-
had a bigger plan.
He had more reach. Well,
Yeah.
I'll give you that.
Yes.
Whereas, like you said, because like I said, killing Blofeld was the icing on the cake.
Yeah.
Like you said, the plan was way different. And all.
Right.
Like it was still about genetically altered. It just so happens like, hey, I can get my revenge and I don't have to pull a trigger. I can get my revenge and I don't have to be in a room. Like what? How much power is that you can just sit here and be like, hey, I can just exist and you can't because you're that much weaker than me because of like the aerosol in the AC.
Well, that's not weakness. Like,
It is a genetic weakness.
No, they they designed it to kill people's specific DNA.
Yeah.
That's not a weakness.
It's if you can find a chink in an armor.
That was not a chink.
It
They
is.
they stole your DNA and designed it to attack your DNA.
But
that's not a weakness.
That means that people can encrypt a counter. So that means it is a weakness. Because guess what? All you're doing is making a DNA arms race because now you're going to make something to counter that with the proteins.
No, that is not a that
It
does
is
not
still a
prove
weakness.
that does not prove that one of us if you get sick and I don't that
You're more susceptible. You're weaker. Or I guess I'm more susceptible because I got sick. Your immune system is stronger. I'm more
well, that may be
genetically
true. That
inferior.
may have been a poor example. But if I design something to attack you and don't design it to attack Ray, that means Ray's better than you?
According to that DNA, yes.
No.
Yep.
No, it is not. You're wrong on this.
Nope.
Like you're arguing. Then explain it. That makes sense.
Because, like I said, potentially go with that plan. So pretend Blofeld survives. He can make now a counter one to that sequencing if he stole the file, and he can protect his DNA by altering his own DNA, which we can do right now. And then if he can get DNA from old boy, he can now try to do that to him.
So your argument, let me make sure I get this right. Your argument is that he's weaker because he didn't create something to protect him from it.
He's weaker because he is not taking advantage of science and technology that your enemy is, and if you're not willing to play the same game, you will lose.
Yeah, well,
And he lost.
he didn't know that. He didn't know it existed.
Ignorance is not an excuse.
But okay, this is a different argument.
Oh yeah, we went
This
off
is the-
we went off the rails for sure.
Right.
Like,
But back to the original argument, I was right. It doesn't show weakness because the thing attacked you. They designed it to attack you.
Yeah, that's like a gun bullet with a gun.
and when I have
Right.
armor on, that bullet means nothing. I have designed armor now to make me impenetrable to it.
Right.
Yeah.
But you can keep layering on and on.
Exactly.
It's a
But that's why I
never-ending
said
story.
It is. But that's what we do as humans. That's
Right.
why we have DNA weapons. Like we went from a rock to that. Like it's evolution.
I mean,
it's evolution
it's
of thought.
yeah. I mean,
Like,
technically a weakness, but I mean, it's. I don't. I
It's
mean,
semantics.
semantics.
It's
yeah.
semantics
yeah.
is what it is, and I'm being a bastard. But like,
Right.
like- but that's the argument. And all.
Tommy boy, Tommy boy. I mean, it. I
But
mean,
that's what I
it is
do
a
when I'm
weakness. I mean, it
outnumbered,
is.
I'm not
But
gonna lie. Like,
I know.
like, but no, like, but since I am outnumbered, I will concede and all that because
You sound like Barry right
Yeah,
now.
but- Let's say thanks, Barry.
I'll admit it. We live in a democracy. I'll be okay with it. Like 2-1, like it's okay. Not gonna be.
But I mean, it's splitting. I mean, I get your point, Tom. It's splitting hairs between a gun to a DNA fucking virus. It's. I get your point,
the end result is the same.
but small potatoes, big plant. Personal vendetta, bigger organization.
I don't know if you could just wax out certain people in the entire world, like, and not have to not know anybody. No one would have to know about it. You could literally just pull like a golden eye and everything and crop dust the stuff. Nobody would know except for those that mysteriously die. Like, and you could just keep going on with your life as business. Like I said, he owns shit. He can just keep doing that. And everybody would be like, what is this mysterious virus that's killing everybody and all that? And it's like the world's population with all these DNA.
But that's a lot of work though, because everybody's got a little bit tweaked through the DNA, so that's a lot of tweaking and
Well,
research.
that's not. But they talk about it in the movie. Is they can tweak it so it can attack whole ethnicities.
Yeah, that's the idea.
So like, cause like at the one when they break in at the end of the movie, when Bond and the new 007
Yeah.
break into the thing or the lab, the scientist guy tells the new 007, I'm going to wipe out your race. Like, and they had talked about that earlier in the movie.
yeah.
Right.
And he tells her, I'm going to wipe out
they
your
even,
race.
They even talked about, yeah, like you could pretty much specifically target just poor people, even. Like I said, if you knew that like this group of like this family's lineage was just here, and you wanted a demographic of poor people gone, like imagine if you could just eradicate, like just like you said, anybody you wanted, and nobody would know what's happening.
Because it doesn't have to be
It's-
programmed to attack Ray's specific DNA.
No.
They can pick out something that is broad.
It's a
Like,
protein.
yeah, like this specific piece of protein, a protein or DNA that is in a mass group of people
Yeah,
that a lot of people have.
that's
and
why,
that,
like,
then attacks everybody that
That's
has.
why like everybody from Spectre, all their families died too.
Yeah.
Because when they went to their funerals and kissed them goodbye and everything, they have that protein because they're their offspring. So that entire lineage is susceptible to that.
That's why he doesn't leave the island at the end.
Right.
Is because he doesn't want to kill the other two.
But that's the thing is that, like that's what I mean is that it's such an insidious plot that you could do it and then you could still live your normal life. Everybody would think that something bad just mutated in the air or like came from a stupid animal or something like that. Like, and you could just, bebop around knowing what you did and got away with like destroying like 2/3 of the world. Like, that's insidious. That's
Yeah.
why he's my number one.
Yeah,
So-
I mean, you got a point there, but
Because if you want to talk about chaos for chaos sake, like I said, I may not like people here and there and all that, but I don't want to kill people like that. Like that is a like even Blofeld's not trying to like exterminate people. He just wants to control.
I guess here's my question though with Safin's big plan is why?
Yeah.
Like, what's the point? Like he doesn't seem to have anything to gain from it. He doesn't seem to, it's just my father liked poisonous plants, so poison is beautiful or whatever. Like it's just like he's crazy.
Yeah.
It's
well,
not necessarily.
I
like,
took it as one where his father's death made him is what's made him snap, because there was something about that when he's like was talking to old girl and all that, where he was like referencing that. But that's even kind of hinting when he's talking about that, because if you think about like in botany, you are like cross pollinating, you are switching proteins, like we genetically alter, like we even worked on genetically altering trees to glow just so we have light at night. Like we alter DNA all the time. It's just a matter of like he finally did what we've all kind of like talked about, like what if scenarios, and like it's like, hey, like I can change this and this, and like just like, hey, just like you're dead. Like, I mean, and like I said, you don't need a gun to kill people like that. Like war would be, it would be very scary because there would be no sounds. There would be nothing except just silence and death. Like because you wouldn't see it coming. Like it would just be a normal day and then you're gone, and there would be no violence to it other than the act of dying. Like imagine, like that would be a great way to take over a country with limited collateral damage if you knew the genetic population and without destroying the country's infrastructure. Because then you wouldn't have to rebuild everything like that. You could just come in and just like put your people in those homes again. And now it's like, hey, we've colonized. This is ours. Like,
But the only thing I have to ask is, so why is it not directed at him? Why wouldn't the virus come back at him?
well, you can protect yourself from it.
But for
Like,
how long?
you could alter your own DNA. Well, I mean, like you specifically can, but like they can and everything. Like you can have your DNA altered.
Yeah,
Like,
but how long is it going to last?
it's
Because it's always going to mutate and it's always going to change.
well, yes and no. But I mean, it's you. I would assume you would run the same risk with like the aerosol or like whatever they're
And then
spraying.
and also with that,
Like-
the virus is always going to mutate and change. So you're not
it's not a
necessarily
virus though. It's nanobots.
nano. But I
Because
mean,
that's where the big one with that is that you get the crazy scenario is called like the gray goo or whatever.
All right.
To where like
I don't want to cut us off here, but I feel like
Yeah.
this is a conversation more meant for the No Time to Die episode, not the B side for the villains. So let's go over our 5 villains in order. At number 1 is Blofeld, and a number 1B is Safin, and then at number 3 we have Silva. Number 4 we have Lashif, and number 5 we have Dominic Green. I think this is a great collection of villains, guys. I really do.
Yeah.
I'd have to go back and look for sure, but this might be our best collection of villains in reality.
I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, after looking at the board and talking about it here, like I feel like it's hard to shit on the Craig series when you look at the villains.
Yeah.
Like it really is. Like it's like you can shit on like the plot line of Craig's nonsense for what it is, but the bad guys they did.
baby,
well.
please don't leave me, baby.
Yeah, like
But yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for
Solid.
tuning in to the B side.